You ever have one of those days where your private little slice of paradise almost turns into a reality TV crime scene? Because let me tell you what happened to me in Acrodate still feels like a fever dream. One part hilarious, three parts horrifying with a cherry red tracksuit villain. I wouldn't have believed if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and if you're the kind of person who hates busybodies with binoculars, you're really going to love this. See, I'm Jay Stone, just a guy who spent most of his life building sanctuaries for other people, finally decided to build one for myself. 2 years, my own sweat, every trick I know poured into that house. But the real jewel was my backyard. 7-foot cedar fence, no gaps, no sightlines. Just me, a pool that looked like the cover of an architecture magazine, and the quiet I'd worked 20 years for. And for a while, it really was that simple. Swim laps in the morning, let the stress slide off, towel off in the sun. No noise but the water and a few birds. You know that deep, good feeling? That's what I thought I'd built for myself. That all blew up on a perfect Saturday sun out air, soft and gold, when a sound cut through my piece, click, click, like a camera sharp and mechanical. I froze, scanning that fence, telling myself maybe it was just a branch, maybe a trick of the wind. But I saw it, a tiny knothole, and in it a glint of glass. Someone was literally spying on me through a hole in my own fortress. Cue Brenda, Albright, my neighbor 3 doors down, who apparently thought she'd joined the FBI. She's standing on a crate, tracksuit camera with a lens longer than my arm, straight up peeping into my yard, snapping photos. This woman had already left notes about my truck, grilled me at the mailbox, but this was new. So I shouted, because what else do you do? And instead of shame, Brenda doubled down, climbed down, crashed through my side gate and let loose a banshee shriek. You pervert! My grandkids walk these streets. Now I'm standing there dripping pool water towel around my waist, and I've got a 7-foot fence between me and the world. The only crime here was a grown man trying to relax. But Brenda wasn't having any of it, accusing me of flashing the whole neighborhood, calling 911, making a show for anyone within earshot. I've never seen someone so eager to flip a story. 1 minute she's the peeping Tom, next thing I know I'm the villain in her saga. And you know what happens next in America when a panicked older lady calls the cops on a black man with predator in her voice? Sirens. 4 patrol cars, no joke. My driveway's suddenly a stage blue and red lights, officers' hands near their guns, Brenda sobbing and pointing, my neighbors peeking through curtains, already picking sides. Officer Gomez, tall professional, keeps his voice low but serious. We got a report of indecent exposure. Keep your hands where we can see them. There I am, one hand on a towel, the other with a water bottle, heart racing, but doing my best to stay cool, knowing I can't afford to escalate. Brenda, meanwhile, is spinning stories about predators and grandbabies, and even Mr. Henderson across the street, her partner in neighborhood paranoia, is glaring at me like he just found a snake in his mailbox. I try to explain that fence isn't just decoration, it's a fortress. No one can see in unless they're climbing on something and shoving a camera through a knot. She was photographing me, I say. She's the one trespassing. The younger officer rolls his eyes, clearly thinking, sure, buddy. It felt like the script was already written and I was just there to play the bad guy. Right when the pressure's about to make me lose it, my phone buzzes on the patio. Notification motion detected, backyard camera. That's when I remember the best thing I ever did for myself wasn't that pool, it was installing a security system with wide-angle 4K cameras covering every inch of my sanctuary. Not for burglars, turns out, but for liars. I tell Gomez, check the footage. Everything's on there. You could see the skepticism turn to interest. Brenda goes pale, tries to bluster, but there's nowhere to hide. Gomez grabs my phone cues up the video. What does it show? Me minding my own business. Then, Brenda in full Mission Impossible mode, crate and camera, aiming right through my fence, then storming through my gate, then screaming her accusations. The officers watched, dead silent. You could see the change like someone flipped a switch. Accusation melts to anger, but not at me. Gomez turns to Brenda, voice suddenly cold. "We need to talk about this footage." The other officers back him up, and Brenda, who moments ago was the queen of drama, starts stammering. "It's fake. He's a tech wizard." The younger cop actually laughs. "Lady, we saw you on the crate. You're the only wizard here." Even Mr. Henderson across the street realizes he's been duped. His face just collapses, guilt written all over it. Turns out Brenda's got a history. False reports, wild accusations, making life hell for a dozen families, always skirting just inside the law, because before me nobody had proof. But now they did. That camera of hers, full of evidence, not just of me, but of every family on our block. Kids in their yards, neighbors coming home late, even a folder of photos of a teenage girl through her window. The police, with real evidence, at last cuff Brenda right there in front of the neighbors. Her red tracksuit, once her badge of authority, now just a clown costume for the world to see. Word spread fast like wildfire. Police called in families one by one, everyone finally seeing what Brenda had been up to. Shock, then anger, then a strange relief, as we all realized the enemy was never each other. It was the poison she'd planted between us. Even Mr. Henderson, who judged me, showed up to apologize, tears in his eyes. I believed her. "I'm sorry." All I could say was, "Me too, man. Me too." Me. Brenda got what was coming, arrested, charged her family, forced to settle the civil suits that followed. The money, I didn't want it for myself. So I pitched a new idea, use it to build something good, a community pool, a place for everyone's kids to play, for all of us to finally meet as neighbors instead of suspects. We built it together, old rivalries dissolved in sweat and sawdust, laughter echoing over new concrete. The Patels brought donuts, Henderson ran pipes, the couple Brenda accused of drug dealing started a newsletter. For the first time, Acrodate felt like the home I always wanted. Opening day was perfect. The kids dove in first, a wild splash that washed away every bit of tension. Parents chatting music, playing the shadow that hung over us all year, finally gone. Brenda's old house was sold, torn down, her legacy erased. Standing there, I realized I'd built a fortress for myself, but together we'd built something bigger, a real community. So yeah, install cameras. Trust me, proof matters. But don't let your guard down in other ways. Talk to your neighbors. Stand up for each other. Refuse to let one toxic person write the script for your life. Predators thrive in silence. Unity is their kryptonite. And if you're out there hiding behind a fence, convinced the world's out to get you, just remember, sometimes the only thing you accomplish is giving everyone else a reason to come together after you're gone. All right, that's my story. Now I want to hear yours. Drop a comment below. Ever had a neighbor like Brenda? Who do you think really keeps a community safe? Cameras, fences, or actual friendships? Hit that like and subscribe so you don't miss the next wild ride. Stay safe out there and watch out for the watchers.